Hello.
Hello.
We have committed a coup. No, audio issues. The bane of anyone using technology.
So, alright, there we are. Alright. Yeah, for some reason, every program on Earth decided to change the default audio input device this week for everyone. But yes. Hey guys, welcome back. Episode 16 of Spark in the Dark. As many sparks in the air fly around in this rainy, thundery, lightningy sort of day here. How did we get here, Rask? Since, well, you're the only one who does the recap.
Let's face it, yeah. Uh, there we go. I had to finish typing. There we go. All right, so we woke up in the. Oh no, is it Crudarch? Crudarch?
Crude Dark.
Crudarch. Wow. We woke up in the Crudarch Inn and had a quick breakfast. Our plan at the start of yesterday, or of last session, was to march north through a nasty storm to a lighthouse on the coast where we believe the Storm Hag is conjuring up a terrible storm affecting the whole area. But when we left the inn, a hydra emerged from the water at the village dock and attacked. Though two dock workers perished in the fight, we were able to slay the hydra and receive the town's gratitude. We healed up and marched north to the coast, where most of us, saw the ocean for the very first time in our lives, or part of it at least. We followed a high cliff west toward the lighthouse, narrowly avoiding a manticore along the way that we believed to be the hag's pet. We entered the lighthouse, but it was in such terrible condition the bottom floor collapsed. Starnberg fell into the churning waters below. Rask dived in after him to keep him at the water's surface, while Tresser tied down a rope and lowered it. And Starnberg survived with some bruising. We're all fine. When we got to the top of the lighthouse, though, the hag that we were chasing greeted us and launched into this monologue about how she had jealousy over the villagers having comforts that the hags lacked, and and how she desired very little more than to cause suffering. And so we eagerly entered battle, though the manticore that we had avoided earlier swooped into the fight. This may be a challenge.
It's
I think it's a
certainly.
little less jealousy and more uh, ontological dislike of comfort.
But, as you all heard what she has had to say, Storm cannot be held back for much longer as these sparks sort of erupt between her claws and her hair stands on end. Sfors, you feel the same sort of energy. You feel sparks sort of down your shoulders and into your fingertips as well. You are quickened for any action, not just like the haste action where it's try to strike, any action whatsoever in this combat. Storm above you just seems to brim with so much energy, more than you've felt in a very long time. Though it does bring you back to the blustery hills that you once made your home in, or you've left it. A blessing and a curse to be reminded, I suppose. But, with that, I think we should get into initiative. How little you realize. How much you are at fault for this. As she seems to take the initiative in this combat, Against, well, the better wishes of any of you, she begins to call down the lightning upon you all. First, of course, by, let's see, shifting over to the side here. And as she does so, the lightning charge on her fingertips is unleashed in a bolt of lightning. Will cross a few of your paths. We'll say right here, which makes it Chesser and Starnberg.
Oh.
I need a reflex save.
Well, this shouldn't be too bad.
Starnberg expecting something like this, and Tresser as well. Both of you are able to avoid the worst of it, skimmed just barely by a decently powerful bolt. However, as she ends her turn, she sort of shouts to the Manticore, "You useless thing, get in here already!" As it's sort of hovering at the side, waiting just a bit longer. Rask, your turn.
Oh boy. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna try to get in there.
Okay. Like that. Skimming along the side of that pit and this massive brazier that sort of stands about 5, I would say 7 feet high. Difficult for you to see around.
Okay, so I could get to this spot if I wanted to do one single stride.
Correct.
I do want to close the distance because it would be very helpful if I could get some try to enable some flanking at some point.
Okay.
However, I'm a little nervous to go too close to the edge right now, come to think of it. I'm going to stay where I am, I think. Channel elements.
Okay.
It's going to give me a free one-action elemental blast. I'll be starting out with just a simple gathering water and flinging it at her, sort of like a whip of water.
Yeah. Take the waters all around the rains that have pattered against you. That'll be a hit. Takes a small blast of water, skimming across her side.
And just to be thorough... Hold on, actually. That may actually be, like, the position just south of her, that may be available terrain.
Yes, it is.
I'm just going to do that.
The old sacks of who knows what, coal, whatever. You're able to sort of step over them and get into her back. Alright. Starnberg.
Steinberg. Sfors is tapping your arm. His jaw is clenched and he can't quite speak, but he seems to want you to move after him for a nice buff.
Starbuck just gives a casual shrug as he says,
Please, by all means.
Okay.
Sfors reaches out and taps against Steinberg's Griffin Cane to cast Conductive Weapon on it.
Alright. Gathering some of that latent charge in the air and focusing it into his weapon.
He follows up by continuing to channel that latent energy into a thunder strike against this hag.
Okay. As you call the lightning down, and, well, following with a crack of thunder here as well, she's going to have to try to avoid it. And avoid it she just barely does, even on a 12, so it doesn't seem like she's that reflexive.
Damage is damage.
Mm-hmm. She does take half, but unfortunately it seems like she has some latent resistance to electricity, being a Storm Hag.
Of course. Well, now we know.
Mm-hmm.
That's all for Sfors' actions. That's more than he should normally get.
Certainly more. But as you just take the charge, Sternberg, you feel a little bit of that as well? What do you do?
He immediately starts out approaching her, breaking into a sprint as he just runs at the hag. And actually, I have an idea. My first offensive action this turn is gonna be trying to go for a grapple.
Alright.
Just because I don't want her casting any more spells.
Reach out for her. She does succeed because there was a failure on your end. You're not able to grab onto her. She sort of pushes away with you with some old lady strength.
How are you?
The storm,
Yeah.
it strengthens me.
And my final action. Oh, wait. Well, my final action is just gonna be an attack. May as well.
Okay.
With map, of course, but
Natural 1.
well, that's my turn.
Okay.
Is the buff helping?
It might at some point. Sfors and Treasure, you should be down by 1 hero point. You only start with 1. I think those are just left over from last time.
Oh
But-
yeah, that's your leftover from last time.
Oh yeah.
With that, the
Oh, no.
Manticore that has been taking its time, wait and see what it can do here. It is going to go into a full dive against the back line of the group here, slamming down right at front and center with all of you here. And, well, seeing the danger that Sfors has been already, it's going to go for a straight jaws strike here. 19 on the dice, 34 total, definitely a critical
Oh, no.
strike. A nasty one too. You take 32 points of
Dang.
damage. But then it swipes quickly to the side as it was biting. Quick agile attack towards Tresser, just barely hits because of the agile trait.
Ah.
Wouldn't have hit if he used his bite attack again. 11 damage there on Tresser as it's now disrupted your back line here. Tresser, front and center, what do you do?
Well, cool. That's gonna change my strategy. I'm gonna start with an exploit vulnerability on the Manticore.
Okay. It results, unfortunately, in a failure, but you're not sure it had a weakness in the first place.
Yeah, that's alright then. Next I'm going to stride into a flank
Okay.
between me and Cal with this thing. Then I'm gonna strike the beast. Personal antithesis, catnip, I think.
Alright. It seems to do the trick, as it's a little bit distracted.
Ooh, you wanna look at it? Ooh.
Slice into
Well,
it
yeah.
for 8
Getting
or
that
12.
backstabber in there too.
Mm-hmm.
That is my turn for now.
Cow, a blast here.
Alright. Well, I'm not a big fan of cats, so he's gonna focus his energy, adding energy into this thing's collar that it has around its neck. Because you mentioned it was made out of metal.
There is a metal collar on it, yes. Step of
Guessing
cruelty,
heat metal.
as
It's
it...
animal cruelty if it's a monster.
Well,
No,
so
it's trying to
let's
kill
see.
you.
Very night morning.
Certainly not animal cruelty if it can like talk and stuff.
Okay, if you're targeting
It's
night and morning,
welcome to dive into the sea anytime.
we'll make a reflex save on this.
Surely it won't be a really good save.
It's
Alright.
not really good at reflexes at all, in fact. To roll that damage.
What, incarnation?
As that collar glows red hot, it sort of screeches out, unable to pull it away, and the rain sort of sending sizzling bands of smoke up from it as it fights.
You guys can keep it distracted, right?
I can't. promise anything, but I can try.
I'm gonna move away from it.
Okay.
That's all 3 actions.
Damn you all. You don't realize we're not here in this swamp of our own accord. We'll make it our own. And with this, they are going to... Let me see, just a moment here. She is going to quickly unleash this torrent of water straight out in a line towards Starnberg and Cal. I need a fortitude save from both of you. This torrent threatens to push you far. But fortunately for you, Starnberg, you're pretty tough. You can hold back against it. Cal, not so much. Starnberg, you take half of that. Cal, you take the full amount of damage, battering badly into you. She then quickly makes a swiping bite, actually, with these sort of spiky fangs in her jaws that sort of tinge with a little bit of Spark's energy. Which do hit Rask. Not too bad, you've had worse.
Yeah.
That'll be her turn, however. Rask, on to you.
Well, I've got her in position now, huh? So yeah, I kind of pull water into my fist to basically make my fist like really emphasize the bludgeoning force of my punches.
All right.
And I go with a 2-action melee.
Heavy water gathered up, slammed into her because of the flank you hit.
Cool.
As it batters into you, it's a pretty hefty blow there. 11 damage.
Not as hefty as I would really like. Gonna follow that up with just one more slightly weaker attack. This one I'm charging with the power of frost.
That hits it as well. Though this time,
For
not
an entire damage.
all that much frost is produced. So, could make the difference.
I'm helping.
Sfors, after the pretty bad bite, sends trickles of blood down your, side. What do you do?
There's no way it's gonna do that again, right? Sfors is gonna start off by casting a fear on the Manticore, gathering the electricity and sort of fainting it as he zaps around it, trying to unnerve the creature.
Okay. Will of a great beast may not be its best. It will be frightened 1 as it fights it back, but the collar is definitely doing its work to frighten it too.
And, you know, we only live once. Sfors is going to proceed to try to push that advantage by gathering the electricity back together and point blank, gathering it back around Manticore.
Swirling storm around it. It's a little bit distracted now. Could have been pretty good, but unfortunately it does succeed. So though, we'll
I
take
don't
half.
think I've gotten a single failure on this thing.
Unfortunately, even if reflex is this worst stat, sometimes they just roll high. Being said, it's bringing it down, slowly but steadily. Sternberg, over to you.
Righty. On his turn, first things first. Stubberg's eyes seem to shimmer as his blood quickens in his veins. Seems focused as he casts Sure Strike. And he's gonna put that focus to good use as I go for another grapple attempt.
Okay.
Really this time.
For as much assurance as possible. Does sure strike yeah, it's an attack, I suppose, right?
Yep.
You only
So
roll once.
you only rolled once.
I didn't make me roll. There was no option to roll twice.
Yeah, because it doesn't really recognize the grapple. It only recognizes the attacks. But still, unfortunately, you're not able to get a hold of her. It seems like she's pretty tough, like really unnaturally tough. Probably her
Wow.
best is fortitude.
Oh,
Grizzled old woman who's seen a lot and doesn't let anything get a hold of her.
that's annoying. In that case, I'm gonna once again do a map attack.
Okay.
Shoot. I forgot something. I'm not drained. So I'll just add that. Good.
However, this certainly will hit. Batter into her with that conductive weapon. Not sure quite how effective it will be against the Storm Hag, but certainly would have been a lot there. Takes 19 in total.
Better than nothing. That's
There you go.
3 of my actions.
Okay. Now, back to the Manticore with the Burning Collar. It is going to, let's see, first take a bite towards Tresser here with its jaws.
Uh-oh.
Snaps back at you. 17 on the dice, unfortunately
Using my
makes it.
amulet. Please
critical
don't
strike.
kill me.
5 and 2 aren't the best it could roll. You bring up the amulet just in time for those jaws not to go as deeply into your flesh, and it pulls away at the last moment.
Oh, I had 25.
Yes, you had 25, so
So only minus 20, so I'll be set to 5.
you will be at 5. With that,
Oh.
however, it shoots straight up in the air 20 feet, because straight up
Oh,
is difficult
come
terrain.
on.
And then, as it sort of turns on you all, it is going to make a volley of spikes down on Sfors and Cal. So, yes, targeting 2 different creatures or a single. 2 different targets, the creature must be in the Manticore makes it separate. This counts as only 1 strike for the meta as an increase until after. Okay, so map 5 on each of you with the spikes. 16 on Sfors does hit. See if it
Yikes.
does enough. It does, with 11 total there. Spike hits you in the side and sends you reeling to the ground. The other
The front
spike
runners abandoned us.
goes to
And
Cal.
immobilized.
But Cal, you see what happens to Sfors, and you're not going to let it happen to you. You dive out of the way. That'll be its turn. It will take a lot of persistent damage from that collar burning on it. 5 there. Full recovery.
Well, okay, so that's not good. I can't reach it. Well, I... Okay, I need to figure out what I'm gonna do then. I think I might strike down towards Rask.
Are you able to get Sfors up?
They don't have any healing. Does he have a potion?
I don't believe he does.
Alternatively, I could do it, but it'll take my whole turn.
Alrighty.
But that wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing.
I'm gonna stride 25 feet, that like that. No, scratch that. I could use gravitation. Oh, I'm overthinking. Yeah, I'm just gonna do the stride this way,
All right.
then stride a second time so that I'm here, and
Okay.
then make a strike against the hag. 'Cause I need to be close to the healer.
I mean, I'm leaving as soon as it's my turn. You're not getting anything from me.
Okay, bye.
Hello, it is me, the other healer.
I have another plan. Don't worry.
You rush up, you attack,
That's my turn.
but
I hope
took some
this
time to
pack
reposition.
can't explode.
Cal.
I'm unleashing Psyche.
All right.
I'm turning my focus over to the Manticore, which is definitely a major threat still.
Hmm.
And I'm going to, instead of putting energy into that collar, suck warmth out of the Manticore
Sure thing.
with an amped frostbite.
You look up at it, pulling together all the sort of entropic baseline energy of this world, the fundamentals. You see them, you can feel them, you can use them against them. It'll make a fortitude save. Rolls a 6 on the dice, but just barely succeeds because fortitude is its best.
Okay. That's unfortunate. I'll take half of this damage.
Alright, half is still a good amount there. Takes 8.
I get 4 temporary hit points from that.
Mm-hmm. Pull away the energy. Anything else you do?
Final action, I am going to cast Fear. Or no, I'm not. I don't have those actions. I got
Right.
really excited, sorry. I am going to use Recall the Teachings to aid anybody 30 feet of me.
Okay. Whoever needs it, they'll get it. So now, back to the hag. She is going to shift. Striding this way and then this way. You see how weak that one is. She sort of looks over towards Sfors. They didn't even have... Well... what it took to admit what they did. They're going to make another... let's see... They're going to send out a gust of wind towards Rask and Starnberg here. I'm going to send them tumbling away. I need fortitude saves on both of you.
Alright, no problem. I got this. Failure is...
It's just a bunch of wind to you, Starnberg.
As long as I only fail, I'm fine.
4 on the dice. You do only fail. You're sent reeling to the ground, but that's pretty much all it does. And with that, it'll be her turn. She bleeds just a tiny bit from that bite from Starnberg there. Cal, or Rask, you have been knocked prone. What do you do?
Yep, I'm just going to ignore that status and just stand up. So it's one action. I'm going to heal Tresser.
Thank you.
I don't mean ignore it. I mean, like, not apply it because I'm just immediately canceling it.
12 healing.
Thank you.
And just in case, you can drag effect onto you. There we go. I'm going to go in Sfors' direction.
My
Alright.
hero.
Rushing over towards Sfors.
Fortunately, I need to use the ruler.
I should be after Stormberg, I think.
No, you do. Oh, right, yes, you would be after Starnberg. I don't know why it doesn't do it automatically anymore. I think I need to change a setting for that. Alright,
Okay, that's it.
Starnberg.
Alright. First up, with my blood-slicked weapon, I'm gonna harvest the blood that is on it.
Alright. It's full attack. Ignition goes away.
And I'm gonna keep on attacking.
Alright. Conductive weapon still braced in hand, you slam it into this hag. Almost a crit, only you had some support on the side. That would still be a definite hit. A little bit less because, of course, the resistance.
Yep.
Alright, I think that's you, or... No, I think you have one more.
Yep. Another attack.
Okay. Oops. I've done that so quickly, but you do hit again. Focusing more on bringing this hag down. She has become very badly injured at this point. So is the Manticore. Both of them are limping, showing their wounds. But Sfors, your wounds are greater than theirs as you lie on the ground. Roll me a recovery check. I think you're at dying too because you got crit.
No, the killing blow was just a regular
Oh, okay. So you're at dying one.
spike. Yeah. Using his quickened action, he rolls his recovery check faster than normal. And dies faster.
Fortunately, you're having a tough time stabilizing and recovering. Manticore, as its collar burns, it flies back down to about here, slamming into the sort of rough lighthouse here. It's losing even more stones than it already had. This combat is making it seem even more unstable. It is going to go for a straight jaws bite into Cal. Unhappy, really unhappy about this collar, but also so distracted by it that it can't really bend its neck to bite you. Angrily, it will claw at Cal as well. It really doesn't like them. 17 will be a hit.
No!
2 and 3, total of 11.
I'm
You're at
not dead.
1 HP.
gosh.
Because of the temp HP, but because of that power you drew in, still standing in the face of this beast.
Alrighty.
It continues to burn. Tresor.
Alrighty, 2 actions. First, I'm going to stride up. Second, I'm going to cast the spell scroll in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
Bless.
Your allies, alright. Add that aura to yourself, and that should be good. Your allies gain that blessing.
I
it'll
stole
help
this
them
one
out.
from a priest. No, I'm kidding, I bought it.
I gotta make sure this isn't an active effect. I usually don't like them. Forgot about bless,
Oh,
I
it is
guess.
active. Apologies.
But it's
Why does
fine.
my skin tingle so weirdly?
Oh, you don't... I did not consider that. Just take the favor. Don't think about it.
It's not consecration, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Cal, on the other side of this great beast, you're holding it back with your mind, with its flames that you can spark up out of thin air just to keep it at bay. What are you doing?
You got this, Cal.
Cal's gonna rotate around the creature.
Yeah, you would be able to go there than there. Alright.
If that's okay. Yep.
That also works really well for me, thank you.
Oh, bless.
And Cal's going to inhale deeply before unleashing a massive blast of fire.
Alright.
Using a level 2 breathe fire.
The gout of primordial flame batters into both of them. See their reflexes, which aren't their greatest. Their worst, in fact, in a natural 1 on the Manticore. As the collar burns, it seems to attract the flames even more. As the fur and the leathery, sort of scaly hide takes up the flames burn it down completely.
Oh my
to the
gosh!
ground. And the
Oh,
hag
man.
also takes a really massive amount of damage from that. Now we see how the psychic thrives as a blaster caster. Hag barely standing after that.
Take her down, please. That's his
Kill.
turn.
Don't worry, I've got Sfors, unless I die somehow.
No, I won't allow this. It's his fault. That one, the one who lies there in the rain. He's why we're here. He is why we're also outcasts, refugees, burned our home down.
And now you're taking that out on others unrelated. You deserve everything that's coming to you.
You
Made your choice.
defend his actions even now. You suffer for it, all of you.
She tries to hit everyone she can. I think. Doesn't get Rask in that, but she does get Cal, as she wanted to, Tresser, and Starnberg.
Not Tresser with that.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
let's
not
say
gonna-
Treasure's out of it too.
Oh, okay. So I guess I have to
Oh
do it a
my
little bit like
gosh.
this. Alright, so it's going to be not Cal. It's
Oh,
going to
come
be
on.
Rask,
Yay.
Tresser, and Starnberg. So I need you guys to roll your reflex saves.
Suspiciously line-shaped party.
Mm-hmm. Oof.
Redo.
Oh, that's not good.
I have a silly idea of what I could try.
I'm gonna.
There's my hero point.
Yeah, I'm gonna use
Are you
mine.
gonna do an explosive maneuver?
No.
No, I'm just gonna explode normally. Wait,
Right.
oh, I can't use my amulet.
My idea was to try and critically fail.
Okay, I removed the amulet effect because it was only on the manticore.
By the way, Tresser and Starnberg being in the brunt of it, being where all the energy is, well, shot out from. You're both going to take the full effect of these 4d12s. Not the best roll, actually. Rask, you take half of that. Starnberg and Tresser take full. Tresser is sent reeling to the ground because of that. But as she strode, she can't do anything else before, well, comes around to you guys' turn.
Don't bleed out, Tresser.
Would Bless stop going into it? Would Bless stop?
No, or it continues.
Oh,
While you're
okay.
down, because the spell's still on you.
I think he's cauterized at least.
Ras, before you move, do you want to get Tresser up?
No.
Okay.
Nice
Oh, yeah,
girl
you
who
can.
love
Let me
more.
rephrase.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase.
Mm-hmm.
Such disdain.
No. I can only do it once per 10 minutes or whatever. Oh, I didn't mean that, Tresser.
Doesn't love me. I understand.
Oh. I move up here. I channel water through both of my hands, and I send some rejuvenating healing waters towards Sfors and Cal
All
in
these.
that order. So we're doing
Ah.
Sfors first, because you're literally dead,
Mm-hmm.
and then Cal.
Now, who has as yet been holding up? Double eights.
I saved the better healing for my brother.
And it gets him half
Yeah.
his health back, so.
Favoritism.
Thanks.
That. Sternrook. The old woman sort of creeps at the edge of the tower here. The tower itself feels like it's crumbling at the sides. What do you do?
Stomach. He is Tristan crumpled to the ground behind him, and he will first try and patch him up.
Okay.
Rumble! Yeah, that is something I do.
In Family Guy death pose right now.
just like smoke rising up as I'm just like burnt.
Well, the Goku one
Yeah,
too.
that's very Tresser.
Yamcha, I think.
Yeah.
Or Yamcha.
Yamcha.
I don't
I
fucking
really
know.
watched
They
that.
they all. I was gonna say they all look the same, but that's rude.
Don't worry, Trezor. I won't abandon you like Rask did. He said with a cheeky smile on his face.
All the characters wear
I'm
the
not
same
abandoning
orange
anybody.
frock.
They all share the similar characteristic of having a face.
Yes, we'll go with that. But you're
And
healed up.
with the healing done, it is back to the herding. Let's try and see. I'm here pointing that.
Fighting for her life. Clawing away at the blade as it
Yay.
swung.
There we go.
There's the
Playing very
Starnberg rolls
hard
we
for
know
her
and
life.
love.
Hey, don't worry, I already failed the Sure Strike grapple.
Mhm. Will that
Should
be
do it
your turn?
No, I'll do a map attack with backswing.
Alright. Well, swing it around one more time, and the backswing.
Nice.
Bless are the reasons
the
it
bless.
hits.
Barely.
She just cannot hold back pure power behind your strike here. But yet she still stands.
Would you stop insulting my little friend here? He has done nothing to deserve this.
Nothing. You did everything. Caused all
Voice
of
crack.
this.
Sfors stands up, wipes the blood from his jaw, points a finger at the hag, and thunder strikes her.
Okay. She makes a reflex save. Rolls a success. But see if you can muster up enough power to send her to the ground. That's certainly plenty, as even with half damage, of course, even with her resistance, just enough of a thunderclap is sent down on her, and she shudders for a moment, smoke rising from her sort of now blackened straight hair, and simply falls to the ground. Very thing she summoned being her demise. That'll be that encounter.
Ow.
Yeah. Well, nature takes its course, I guess. Survival of the fittest, and I guess she just wasn't ready. Good job, everybody.
Much as
Sfors,
Ow.
Much as I don't give credit into a hag's words, I am intrigued by what she was saying.
yes, as am I. I think once we're off of this rickety tower, we should have a discussion.
Huh? What did she say? I was a bit out for some of it.
She said the hags are
Maybe a little
here because of you.
That's weird. I mean, do you think... Do you think I put the hags here, or...
No, but it's more that they seem to have followed you, perhaps.
It's not very nice of them.
Is the tower actively coming down, or is it just at the moment the edges were a little shaky?
It's holding up for the moment, but as the winds batter it, as you all stand up here, it's not steady. It's going to begin to fall at any moment you feel. As you look around for any way down, it's not looking quite easy. But you can be quick about it.
I mean, Gal's not going to hesitate. He's going to go to the stairs and try to get out of here.
Alright. We will make this a miniature quote-unquote chase. As you guys are all rushing towards the stairs, I need each and every one of you to use any one of your skills or any one of your expertises to help in getting down there, help in maybe shoring up the tower, help in some sort of creative way to get out of here as it still continues to crumble. So, for the purpose of it, we'll just go through vertically. I want to hear what everyone's doing in these moments. Rask, what do you do?
Oh boy. I was not emotionally prepared for this. I think I'm pretty much just gonna be, scampering my way down acrobatically, finding all the best places where I can hopefully land and save myself some time.
Okay. Well, whatever you think is appropriate for that.
It's perfect.
As you're making your way down, sort of looking for different ways, and it's You're doing all right with it, but it's not perfect. It's not all that helpful. See if your allies can help, though. Sfors, over to you.
Spores leverages his natural litheness to really speed down the crumbling stairs and help the others down, uh, almost sort of like swinging them back onto the path if they start to fall with an acrobatics check.
Okay.
He does not do that.
So again,
I think this is a good time for a reroll.
maybe it'll help at this point.
Much better.
A little bit better as you're making your way down. You're not getting in the way. You're helping your allies, doing something important for them here. Cal, over to you.
Cal's going to point out weak spots in the stairs from the wind battering the tower and basically telling people to avoid certain areas. Like, hey, look, that wall might come down any second.
Okay.
I'm going to use a crafting check to determine that.
You look for weak spots. You're identifying some here and there, and your allies are better for it. They're avoiding spots that begin to crumble just after you point them out. So, useful for your allies. Stormbreak, over to you.
Well, Stormbreak begins to accelerate as his like hunting instinct seems to activate again. I'm going to quote unquote rage, as it gives me a little bit more move speed. And going to take my effort into perhaps moving some of the rubble out of the way that's fallen into our path.
Okay. You slam on through. Roll your athletics. You do carve a path, carve a way forward for your allies, making up for the faults of your others. Just don't want to get buried under this rubble. Down the stairs you all go. Tresser, you take up the back of the party.
Oh boy. Looking over my skills, this is a bit rough, so I'm gonna lean on one of my feet. Oh, that's only on lore. Can I do a lore check on like stories of heroes escaping dangerous situations like this? That think, well, how would they escape?
Sure, yes.
Do I take the -2 on diverse lore?
Just roll it and we'll see.
Okay.
Yes, well,
Oh,
with that, you think of other tales of people rushing out of collapsing buildings or collapsing caves, and you realize that, well, you just get your allies to focus exactly on the task. Maybe, just maybe you can get out of here alive, and maybe a little bit of belief and understanding that heroes don't get buried. We'll just push you forward. And as you guys are rushing out, Starnberg bashing away forward, Sfors and Rask kind of tripping over themselves, getting ahead, but with all of the rest of you pointing out things and pushing past everything, you're able to make it down the ground floor, avoiding those other holes in the floor as it begins to all collapse around you. But it crumbles down, sort of collapsing in on itself and filling in that large hole in the center as well. It's almost as if it couldn't have been 40 feet high now. It's just the barest of foundations and a massive pile of rubble. All that remains.
Maybe we should have just collapsed this tower from the start.
She'd have probably just flew in off on that great cat thing.
Ugh.
yeah. And I have
Go.
a feeling she was holding it up somehow.
I also don't think we really have the means to collapse an entire building.
I mean,
don't
if you
think
dug
that's
under
what
it for a
it
few
means.
months.
Is everybody okay? Everybody in one piece still?
As good as I can be. Had a little snack up there. probably help me a bit.
Picked up 5 heads, so we didn't lose anyone.
I took a little bit of a tumble on the way down, but it didn't hurt, so I think I'm good.
All right, Sfors. Time to talk.
Uh, about what she said, right?
If these are related to you in any way, we should be told all the information because there's still another one out there.
Well, I've never seen the hags before, and also I don't know what she said while I was knocked out.
She said it was.
She was blaming you for being here. Well, she said it was your fault that you burned some village down, and that's why she was forced to be a refugee here.
She said all three of the hags were here because of Sfors.
Oh yeah, all three.
She's saying that she's here because I burned something down. Is that what you're getting at?
That's what she was claiming. I don't. You may know something, and if you do,
Well,
I ask you tell
I
us.
did used to live at a kobold village, but it's full of kobolds. There weren't any hags there or anything.
Okay, and what happened to the Kobold village?
Can we go to this village?
Well, it did burn down. She got that right at least. Uh, there was another kobold there who wasn't very careful with lighting fires, and the forest that we lived in caught flame, and that kobold was caught in a fire too. They died in it, but they still had to scapegoat someone for it, so they turned to me, I guess. It's
Wait,
just like
what
Treasure,
caused the
I
fire?
think. There was another kobold in the village who wasn't careful with lighting fires.
Did they look exactly like you or something?
Um, maybe. It was a bigger village than Lysak or Durzak, so
So if this
lots of
other
phrases.
kobold burned down the forest, maybe these hags were living in that forest.
That
Could
would
be.
make sense. They do seem like the kinds of people who would live in the woods, given where we found the first two.
Wait, so you're saying it was somebody else? Another person caused the fire. They. Did you say they died?
Yeah, they died in it.
And you were blamed for it. You didn't have anything to do with this.
Nope.
What was the other kobold's name?
What is the guy kobold's name? Do I do I have this information?
Um, you can come up with something. I didn't establish anything.
Okay. Free reign. Uh,
Is that his name? Free Reign?
this other kobold, piano. That's his name.
What a strange
That's his
name.
name now.
I love it. The music nerd in me is thrilled.
Why is there a nerd in you? Oh, you mean
There are two wolves and you, both nerds.
Oh no.
As the storm above seems to lighten, the rain and the wind abating a little bit, but there's still, of course, the remnants. The thunder has slowed down, getting further away, or just stopping outright. All that you're left with is the patter of rain at this point. And again, the sounds of the swamps seem to, of course, catch up. Now that the wind and the rain isn't just overtaking every other sound.
Well, the Skywater's feeling a little nicer now.
I'm admittedly starting to worry about who our third visitor is going to be and what they have in store for us. Especially considering what the hag said about them being the patient type.
We don't
Yeah,
really
that
have any lead,
is
do we? Besides
concerning.
Sfors.
Maybe Dresser knows something about hags. You knew about the.
I mean,
You got something in that big old bag of yours that could tell us something, right?
probably. Can I make an esoteric lore check on hags?
Sure.
Just like a cross referencing of all the types of hags there are, or something, with what we know at least.
You got a hag compass hidden somewhere in there.
Well, the problem, Tresser,
I hope this.
is that it's not all that common that hags of different types group together because their objectives are often pretty starkly different than each other's. It's a wonder in the first place that they came together. That's a mystery in its own right, and you really cannot hazard a guess as to who the third could be.
It's probably why they even split up. They like different environments. But even then, for them to team up is unnatural. I mean, hags are unnatural, but it's unnatural for the unnaturalness of hags.
So basically, we're back to square one.
Yeah, we would have to guess. I have no idea what this hag could be capable of.
Well, let's
First
return to
one
the
had
village
like
then.
plants and poison. This one had lightning and a pet manticore.
Chester, did I see you take that collar from the creature?
Yeah, why?
What are you gonna do with that?
It's a memento. You know,
Isn't it kind of singed?
yeah, I had to like be very careful while grabbing it.
It's probably burning the whole way down the tower, by the way.
Well, yeah, that's why I used like a rag to grab it.
I don't think a rag is gonna help that much with that. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, it helped a little. The rain helped. The rag was soaked.
Also, give yourselves 120 experience points for the encounter and 30 experience points for escaping the tower unscathed.
So if we didn't escape, if we got hurt on the way down, we would have not gotten the EXP.
No, it's just a figure of speech.
Yeah.
You got the experience of escaping a tower.
What an experience.
Most at level 5.
What am I gonna do for that?
I already know what ancestry feat I'm picking up for this.
My
Oh,
regular
that's
attacks
right,
get so
there's
much stronger next
feats.
level.
I get an implement. I get an ancestry feat. Oh, what am I gonna do?
Well, if nothing else, if the hags have a vendetta against me specifically, then I guess if we leave, then the town would be safe, right?
Not necessarily.
I know the hags are like they love cruelty. They said that to our face. Like they aren't gonna stop just because you're gone. They're gonna find someone else to torment, someone else to have their fun with.
They were
Well, I was
going to
thinking
do
more
this
that
anyway.
she would
The
just
thing
follow
is,
us.
what they wanted, the first one
She doesn't
said,
like you.
is that they wanted to blame this on us. They're just going to keep doing it anyway, though. Even if
I think
we're
that
not-
was her thing specifically, just the idea of making us outcasts.
I mean, I have a theory about what we could be expecting, but it's not really based on anything logical. I probably shouldn't have said anything because it's a completely wild guess at this point. We should just return to the village and maybe gather some information.
I could use a nice rest when we get there.
Yeah, me too.
Yes. I could use a stiff drink.
No more drinking for you, Sfors.
No, no, no. I
Oh.
think he needs it.
No, I'm with him. No more drinking for Sfors.
I just can't wait until this whole hag thing is all over so we can just relax a bit in the village. Spend some time just unwinding.
There's a beach nearby, even.
Wait, can we go
Go
to
there.
can we go to the beach?
We're thinking it was the hags who
It's not
sent
much,
out that curse, right?
not much of a beach, more of like a cliff.
Ah,
I mean, cliff diving is the thing.
Well, there's gotta be a beach somewhere on the coast. We can go around the whole ocean if we need to.
I don't know. We just saw one at the tower.
Let's just do this one thing at a time. We need to solve this issue, and then we can go swimming.
Okay. So, later in the day, certainly, you guys probably need a rest before you head back to
Like,
town.
yeah.
I'm really tempted to explore this square next to us.
Like a rest, or a we get a bunch of lay on waters.
Well, it depends on how dangerous you think the road will be.
I mean, I could just be healing us up with one of those every 10 minutes as we walk.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that's what we're-
So if we don't encounter anything for say 2 hours, then we're probably fully healed.
Yeah, with the rest for 10 minutes, any stacks of wounded can go away.
Sorry, say again? What is your plan?
I think we're gonna take like a short rest before we keep traveling.
Okay.
Yeah.
So heal back
Heal
to
10
full,
minutes to yeah.
basically, because you have unlimited healings.
I'm really tempted to explore this other hex down here before we go back. We're right
I'm
here.
willing.
Well, does your surveyor wish to go that direction?
You feeling
that's
good
me.
enough? You feeling good enough to travel for us to a place we haven't been?
Yeah. Always excited to explore. Let's check it out.
Okay.
Survival, right?
For your survival, yep. As you've gotten used to surveying, especially in the swamplands, you make your way across the river once more, easy enough for the party like yours, and you find that all of a sudden the swamplands give way to more hills, more uplands, more dry lands, strangely at its center. And at their top, you think you spy something of a fort sitting at the peak of one of the larger hills here.
Oh, I wonder if there's any people there we can meet.
That's really interesting.
Maybe whoever's there will give us a nice place to sleep for the night.
Or they can tell us if they've seen any other weird stuff going on.
Or they can. I don't want to.
So I apparently forgot to prepare my mentalist stuff, so I'm gonna do that really quick.
Yeah, sure. But do you guys approach this stony fort, sort of wrapped with a bit of lichen, but it seems not derelict in any way. It seems active.
I vote yes.
Talk
We did heal up on the way, right?
I vote yes.
Yeah, you healed up to
Yeah.
full, all of you. Okay.
There's no harm in check. Well, there is harm in checking, but we should look.
If they're not friendly, we can just leave.
If they let us leave.
If they don't let us, we just kill the hag. We'll be fine.
You wind your way up the meandering road that leads sort of up the hill to the fort, and find that it's been prepared with a sort of moat, more like a ditch that's filling with water from the rain, and a few guards on its sort of squat walls. The walls are really only like 10 feet high, and aren't like these full parapeted walls with towers. And it makes do as a sort of stony stronghold at the top of the hill here. There's a few sort of hard hat wearing soldiers that are standing watch with spears in hand. One of them sort of pipes up as you all approach, sort of raising the tin hat. Oh there. What's your
Hello?
business here?
Rest and discovery, mostly. We come in peace, if that's what you really want to know.
Well, peace you'll have, but you cannot enter.
What is
Is
this
something
place?
the matter, or is it just a policy thing?
Well, we're in the middle of a war, and we can't just let anybody enter a military fort like this. We're fighting against those damned vampires and their friends over in Valmark. You realize this, right? Where are you from?
Well,
Oh, we've been living under a rock.
Quite literally,
That's
it
my
would
luck.
take quite a while to explain, but to put it bluntly, this little gaggle of lizards comes from the underground.
lizards.
Hey, if we're lizards, you're a lizard.
Well, the others has been a little bit quiet.
Oh no. Anyways, we should probably head back to town. Back to Krudark. We're helping them with
Yeah.
the hag problem.
Tall one there.
Hmm.
You're diseased or something. What's wrong with your eyes?
I suffer a little under the weather.
Oh
Yeah,
yes, leprosy. Very sad. Please be nice to him.
Someone take a lead on the deception check.
I'll take that lead.
What's leprosy?
Maybe you can aid with medicine.
I
He's
will.
Well,
very
get
sick.
leprosy.
We take care of him.
I will try to fake some symptoms.
Okay.
You pull your arm off.
Oh yeah,
It
that'll
just,
fool
like,
him.
starts coughing violently and like tries
Oh,
to hide
all right.
the fact that he's like wrapping himself in bandages.
You
I can whip
stay
the bleed.
well away from here. Just try to keep away from people. Don't want to spread that to us. If it's rough as it is out here. Unless you have any official business here, you can't enter.
Well,
Well,
maybe you can answer a question before we leave. Have you seen any mysterious women around here lately?
You're looking for a woman?
A mysterious woman.
a hag.
Well, it probably didn't look like a hag and was walking around.
Well, diplomacy check. Too free
Trust
with
her.
information. Due to wanting to get away from Mr. Leprosy here. But no, we haven't seen any hag, but saw something flying around recently. Kept our ballistas on watch for that thing, whatever it
What?
was.
Is
What?
it a big flying
color?
cat?
Roll another diplomacy check. You're trying their patience.
You've got the stress, I believe in you. You're good at this.
It sort of blended in with the clouds, didn't it? Silvery like.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh.
Now, get out of here. We don't want to catch your leprosy or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Good luck with good. And the
With the
rest of us
war.
turns around.
Something silvery flying around, huh?
Alrighty, let's go. I think that could have been our, I don't know, ally, quote unquote, that dragon.
Maybe?
I don't know. Hard to say. Impossible for now.
Alright. For the purpose of it, are you guys heading back to town? From here?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we need to reconvene and figure out where we are going.
Luckily, from this fort to Krudark, there is a road and even a bridge, so it's pretty easy going. No need to worry about anything. Make it back to town. Krudark proper. And things, while sodden and muddy and battened down as they are, maybe some damage to the buildings, the worst has been stopped, it seems, because of you guys' efforts and because of your haste as well in this matter. People are starting to open up the blinds on, or open up those shutters on windows and sweeping off the mud from their porches, and some even getting back to work out on the fish boots and carting in peat from the, well, swamplands aside this place. But as you arrive, nobody seems to really notice that it was your doing. To them, just a passing storm.
Let me again why we're wasting our time trying to save this backwater village.
It's the right thing to do.
Why wouldn't
And also,
we?
the hags have it out for us specifically.
The town's good bait for the hags, I guess.
Well, I mean,
You can see it like that if you like.
well, they seem to think it's Sfors' fault, so we need to deal with them for Sfors' sake.
Well, here's the way I see it. I don't know if you see things the same way as me, Starnberg, but I kind of feel like those those who have power ought to use it.
There's nothing wrong with that, but
To
you
help,
should.
to help others.
Yes, that's implied.
Yes. But you know, nothing wrong with using power to, you know, push your own agenda rather than focus on the others.
I mean,
I am pushing my
some would
agenda.
argue that. But
That's fair, that's
Like-
fair. I just feel like we're wasting a lot of time here.
Well, what else could we be doing with our time?
I believe we were in the middle of something before we got swamped down in this little swamp.
We could see if we could assist with any repairs.
Not what I was meaning, as in we were traveling somewhere.
Ugh,
Wow, it's been so long, I can't remember.
It's been like 2 days.
Well, right now our main goal is the hags, right?
Is. We haven't really had a chance to have a conversation with them to see if they know anything about our curse.
Of course. And they're not going to unless the hags are gone.
No. The hags might say something.
Yes, that's why we have to go find the hags. Let's do that.
You think that if we don't kill the third one, she might talk to us?
Well, we can convince the third one to talk to us first. They're good at curses, right? Maybe they know something about what happened to the fish.
So we could like appeal to her and become friends?
Well, we can pretend.
Actually,
We
good
could
at
kill her
that.
entire family, and that means we destroy her sense of security, and tags are really into that, right?
actually, that reminds me of something. Two things, actually. Namely, number one, didn't we go on this little journey here because we found a plane cone in the underground from Sfors' place,
Yeah?
and these hags are from Sfors' place.
Yeah?
And this last hag was also standing in some weird magic circle, just like the one we found underground.
It's a shame we
True.
didn't have time to study it before the tower fell down.
I think,
Wait a minute. Are you saying what I think you're saying?
yes, that there is very much a connection between what's going on with these hags and perhaps everything that is going on with Force.
So you're saying that our villages, we were attacked by the hag.
Maybe we should go back down there and see what we can find out.
Down where?
Back home?
Wait. Why?
What if there's a hag down there?
Well, I don't think she necessarily would have gone back down there, right?
But she wouldn't have left either, would she?
Well, no, she would have, because there was 3 of them up here.
Yeah, we met her up here.
Just to say
Wasn't the
there's-
curse cast on Derzak and Lyzak done because something was killed? Voresh killed a thing. And I think that was why whoever cast the curse did it.
No, I believe the cause of the curse is something we don't know. It's just that Voresh was an unfortunate victim of it, as he ate most of the fish in the waters.
I don't know if we really have a conclusive idea of why exactly it happened. I remember we talked about the possibilities that maybe it was to get at Vorash, or maybe We don't really know. I don't think we know.
Okay, hear me out, all of you. So there's 3 hags, right? One of the
Ooh.
hags was about being outcast, which was the homeless lady, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
The other one was related to shelter and that kind of stuff, which is probably the one we found in the inn.
Okay.
So
Makes
what is the third one related to? The one we met in the square.
The missing
Questing?
children?
Wasn't the lady we found in the center supposedly running some kind of organization or something?
She was putting up flyers for missing persons. We could start looking into those.
Are there any
Yes.
sort of buildings that a bunch of people without parents might gather? Or for missing children?
An orphanage, as it would be called.
Do they have
Hmm.
orphanages in Lyzak?
Probably not.
No.
An orphanage, probably.
Zach had one.
Hence me asking it in this way.
Yes.
Diplomacy check if you want to ask around and see what you
Yeah.
can find.
When people lost their parents in our village, they just got taken in by somebody else.
Cal kind of looks at Rask.
Rask smiles a little.
Not so subtly staring right at Raz.
I got to have 4 parents.
Okay, Tresser, do your magic. Find out if there's a place like that here.
Ask around
Uh,
for an orphanage. That should help.
Okay, I guess I'm doing a search for knowledge using diplomacy.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, ma'am. May I ask if there's an orphanage near here?
I would like to adopt a child.
Mm-hmm.
Pursue- Hold on, I have a circumstance bonus for pursue a lead. Why do I have that?
So a lead. You're not
Were
an
you an
investigator.
investigator at one point?
No, it's on there as an option.
It's an investigator ability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a
Just
rogue
there.
class feature in my class features once. I had to manually swap it out so that might be a thing.
Hmm. As you're asking around, most people just shrug their shoulders. I mean, we take care of our children. We don't let them go astray. There's plenty of family members who would take them in, and yeah, we don't need an orphanage or something like that. That sounds like something they need out in the big cities. Missing children?
Too small.
I
The-
can't
the
remember
board.
if there's been any missing children myself, and the sentiment is agreed upon by a lot of people. They don't seem to realize or seem to think at all that there have been a swath of missing children.
Going back to that board that we saw the messages posted to before, are there slips there for people? You said there were missing people reports there, right? Before?
Yes, the one who you suspect to be a hag of the three, did put up a few posters or a few like lists of names and told all about how she's trying to make people aware of these missing people. It wasn't just children. But once you're back there, those posters, those names, all of that is all gone.
Those may have just been put up to get our attention as outsiders.
There has to be a connection.
Maybe it's a hag that makes us forget our loved ones. Is that even a thing they can do?
A hag that makes you forget. Maybe. If they don't remember missing children, and there are missing children, then would the hag be making them forget they had children? Can they do that? Probably.
What is a place of remembrance that people would go to?
A graveyard, I would say.
There's another possibility that we may be overlooking. Where did the Hydra come from?
The river?
Why? Why would a Hydra
Sky?
come to a village like this?
Maybe it was just maybe it just wanted a snack. It was just a bit hungry.
It was drawn here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
And-
guess by the
How are
hag.
the village docks at this point?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they like
they're-
chop the Hydra up and everything.
Oh yeah, there's
What I
nothing
would've
left
done.
of it at this point. Or well, no, they're still working on it. It's only been a day.
I wonder if any of the meat's still good.
I'm starting to think that
Really?
this final hag might be water related in some capacity.
That's what I'm saying.
Can Sfors examine for any clues that might have shown exactly where the Hydra might have come from?
Sure, survival.
Gotcha. Sfors is not doing that.
You have no idea how to track it, especially as it being a waterborne creature.
However, I know a thing or two about waterborne creatures.
Brother, let me help you.
Okay.
We've probably seen how things move in the water, and to an extent, how stuff can be followed in the water if, like, it's bigger on the surface or on the bottom of the water.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine. What skill are you gonna use, Chris? Trask?
Survival. My expert survival.
Sir Bible.
Survival.
Their Bible.
I thought you said the Bible.
That's literally what I no.
Can I assist him? What can I assist him with? Would I be able to use like sailing lore for this?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Pretty good.
I don't like this. I really want to use the hero point on this.
For a lead? Yes.
Of course I do.
With the critical success from Cal, 20 on Rask, you think about it, and, well, a dangerous creature like that really won't just run into the middle of a town. They're a little bit more thoughtful predators like that. So you have to wonder if it was driven in this direction by something. Something pushed it away from somewhere else in this direction. And it sort of felt forced to just attack and lash out at anything it could.
Yeah, the more I think about it, the more sure I am of that.
Basically, we should head just this direction that it came from and hope for the best.
Well, either upstream or downstream, right?
We can gather information from the fishers.
We spotted
Where
that.
do they go? Where do they not go? Any places they usually avoid?
Where did he come from? Where did it go?
No,
Perhaps some of the other aquatic life has also been moving up or downstream. I'm gonna leave asking the fishes to you, folks. You seem very familiar with their trade.
This one I might actually be able to do rolls on for conversation using fishing lore.
Absolutely.
Because I actually know something about my character knows about this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to use fishing lore to question fishermen and the local sailors about places they go, places they avoid, things that they might, using the information we've gathered as well. Just, yeah, general questioning. Ooh, 28.
Mm-hmm. Well, as you ask the sailors about it, they mention that they don't really go upstream. That being to the east and also to the south, because there's another river that sort of makes a confluence of this lake here. And they mention, well, first of all, it gets a lot more into the rapids, a lot more less navigable, but also that there have always been reports and such about beasts and dangerous predators that reside closer to the mountain of these lands, the Windscarred Range.
West to the east. Yep.
Yes.
I guess we look there.
Well, Sfors, seems like all roads lead back to your home.
We can look elsewhere. Right?
No, at this point, we all but have to go there.
And there we shall go.
Yeah.
Since you folks seem to be so interested in keeping this place safe, would you like to stay for a few days to make sure that no hag terrorizes this town in our absence?
We're going after the hag still. We're not staying here.
Yeah, but it could be here and it could start terrorizing it or something, and we could just miss what she's doing.
We could split up, gang.
No, we're not splitting up.
You have certainly been out and about for a while. Could use a few days rest. I mean, it sounds nice to a lot of you.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea, Storm.
I know, I'm full of great ideas.
You have your
And
moments.
If we're going to
hey,
be
we might even
exploring...
be able. Oh, might even be able to catch any beginning signs of what the third hag might be trying to do if we stay here for a bit.
If we're going to be using the water as our focus of exploration, it'd probably be safer for most of you if we allowed the storm to die down a little bit too.
Yeah.
Good
We
point.
can also drink the water every day to see if the hags are doing anything to it.
Okay.
Do not drink the swamp water. I really don't feel like doing that out here.
Well, you're not going to be drinking it. Sfors is. He volunteered. Did you not hear?
I can just... I hold my hand out and like water drips down my hand.
Drink your sweat.
It's not sweat. It's coming from another plane of existence. It's
Yes, voice. Fishes don't sweat.
right. I'm not a fish.
You want me to turn him into an ice cube, brother?
Not yet. We still need them.
How do the
Not
people in this
yet.
place even get potable water? I imagine you can't make wells in the swamp exactly.
I
You
What do you-
boil
I don't
the
think they
swamp
do.
water.
Where do you think
Yeah,
all
so you
that
do drink the swamp
alcohol?
water.
Where do you think all that alcohol that you've been drinking is from, Sfors?
Probably hops, wheat maybe.
Wait, jump?
Swamp
Yeah,
water?
they jump to make it?
Well, actually, since you're in front of the sign or the notice board, you see an advertisement for the Spindletop Brewery up the hill.
Oh, oh, that's a good idea. Instead of drinking the swamp water to check, we could drink at the brewery to check every day.
I don't feel like treating alcohol poisoning every day. Besides, you should also conserve your blood for me. Keep it clean.
Doesn't the alcohol content make it better? It's like wine. That's a fancy person thing, right?
I don't think you can survive with wine in it as blood. I'm sorry, Sfors.
Spindletop Brewery.
We can go check it out, I guess.
Well,
I mean, might as well look while we're here.
Are we just gonna let Sfors keep distracting us from what we should do?
Well, he's distracting us from
I mean,
telling us the
yeah.
real story for sure. Still,
what?
No, I'm on board with the
No
brewery
way.
idea.
as far as I can read minds. Remember?
Why does Tresor get a free pass?
Look, I know he can read minds. I can validate that.
I think this is actually a really good idea.
Yes, we can go to the meter or brewery or whatever it was. Meadery.
Thanks, brother.
Okay. So, you make your way up a bit of the hill, sort of aside some of the palisades that make up some of the little, like, you know, stronghold at the top of this town. And you find a sort of squat structure that has these big vats on its side, sort of half exposed and half not. Seemingly the part where they actually extract stuff from the vats is inside. And, well, you have a big green sort of tinged sign that reads Spindletop Brewery in these sort of bronze letterings. And, well, there's a sort of spinning top that is maybe their brand sort of icon or logo. Yes, that's the word. And, well, nobody here, outside at least. You guys go inside?
Why not?
Inside, there's
Drink
like
outside.
flagstone floors and sort of tall walls, and it doesn't seem like the place is necessarily built to receive guests, but there are tables and stools set out here and there. But as you walk in, you are immediately met with shouting. I told y'all! You need to get this down the hill. Parties tonight. After the rainstorm, people are gonna want to drink. And... hold on. Hey, welcome, y'all. And this halfling, sort of graying, silvery-haired halfling, walks up to you guys. Name's, I don't think I met you before, Gents Spindle, or Spindletop Brewery, top of the hill. Spindle is my last name, that's how it works. And, what can I interest you in? Why have you come here? Of all places in town, you don't seem to be, locals. Are you, merchants?
Wait, what gave that away that we're not local?
Oh, I don't know, the scales and frills and horns, that sort of thing. We don't often
Oh, yeah,
see
that-
something like that.
Oh, I didn't even think that. Of course.
They're about the size of the gnomes, but have a certainly different complexion, I would have to say.
I'm a fisherman.
You look like
You're as
one.
colorful as a nose, I'd say.
But I, from, down, Rest points downward toward
Down
the
there.
floor.
Not under your
You're from my
not
basement.
under your floorboards. No,
Oh.
not that. Farther. Much. Anyways,
Well.
we're here for ale or whatever it is you make, because it. Well,
The
sounds
tour of
nice
the
or something.
finest brews that you have available.
No,
Maybe.
we probably can't afford those.
Well, the finest isn't all that much. If I made fine ale, no one'd buy it. They don't really have that kind of cash around here. I can give you something good, a deep lager of a sort. It's experimental. Do you want to be experimentally given this, perhaps?
What do
If
you...
it's alcoholic, of course.
Oh, right this way then. I haven't had any of what are you again? You're not gnomes. You're
Kobold.
kobolds. I haven't had any
Kobolds.
kobolds. Well, no, actually, there was this one white-scaled one, kind of like this one here.
Oh, milk.
Yeah.
That's his name.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought he was just mentioning milk all the time.
It's so weird they named that fluid after him. Like, why?
The
The what?
Well, yes, that one came up here, and I was wondering about buying some of my ale and selling it elsewhere, and I told him we're of limited stock, and I can't imagine how he carries all of that stuff. But, anyway, didn't exactly trust him. Because the other gnome down in the square didn't really like him either, and anyway, yeah. He brings you these frothing mugs of this dark ale. He said, you want to try something experimental? Please, by all means.
Ooh.
I want to see how
What
you
can you tell
react.
us about this particular brew?
Well, this
Already drinking it. I'm already drinking it.
particular flavor has many of the earthy sort of flavors that you would get from some of the vineyards some of the hops fields, rather, that are a little bit outside of town, up the hills towards the highlands to the east. People
Interesting.
back and forth say that there's something strange about this ale. They say it sort of oscillates in their mouth between a little bit hot and a little bit cold. I personally don't see it, but some people with a better palate claim that it seems to shimmer in their mouths. So
Is this a fairly new hop field?
yes, actually. This one fellow came along quite recently, a couple of weeks ago, in fact. Wanted to sell me their hops and told me they were from up there, and I said, all right. I want something new, different for the people around here, and we don't get a lot of different hops. So I was willing to try it.
Cal looks like he's about to completely disregard this alcohol, but when he mentions that, he's gonna try some.
Okay. So
The
anybody who
oscillation.
tries them, roll the fortitude save first.
I mean, as long as it's not like the hag in disguise selling these hops to poison the people or anything.
I mean, Resk isn't going for the alcohol, and he's engaging in this conversation to get information. You all feel free. I'm gonna be the designated driver here.
Do you guys think I should re-roll that?
Look, Rask doesn't
Yeah.
even know what a horse is. He can't be the designated driver.
It's Stubbock at the
I came
mention
here
of
with
the
a plan.
Stubbock with the oscillation also has to try it now.
I am trying it, and I rolled a 1.
Cal, your mouth seems to burn and freeze back and forth as if you're getting sort of brain freeze and then you ate something way too hot. The others are able to sort of swallow it down and their stomach seems to make the effect a little bit less noticeable, but then still it feels like you just ate something really hot and then something that's really cold. It's throws you off a little bit, but you also have a tinge of understanding. This is very similar to a lot of stuff that you deal with, Cal. So, even though you rolled a natural one, you're not going to take any damage for it.
It's like eating cinnamon candies and like peppermint.
He's gonna use his power to try to balance it out.
Wow.
Sure. Roll me your spellcasting modifier.
I make it worse. It's like,
Well, you're able to diminish it a bit, and you feel a unique sort of connection, in fact, with this ale. As the proprietor goes on, yes, they mentioned something about their farm having a particular soil not found in many places. I've never been up there. It's actually quite dangerous land to go that far into the highlands, but I'll take their word for it. They seemed like a good fellow.
can you
Ah,
about
it's like-
where on this map is it? Cal's gonna grab the map,
Yeah, we'd like to visit.
or
Oh.
our crappy map we've been making.
Well, you're not You don't think you're becoming a competitor, are you? Roll diplomacy check.
No, we couldn't make it out to save our lives. Oh.
Well, I'll tell you it's up the river to the east, but I can't just give you exact coordinates to my, well, my cellar that I want to keep to myself. Sure, you can find
That's
it
fair.
right there.
I'm gonna
We'll figure
I'm
it
gonna,
out.
I'm gonna try to aid Dresser kind of retroactively here,
Sure.
and I'm gonna kind of hold up both of my hands and show the guy the oscillation between heat and cold with some magic. I'm interested in it more because of the properties of it as opposed to selling it.
You're a scientist of a
haven't-
sort. Mage. I've never seen anything like that.
It's very similar to what's going on in this drink. Hot and cold in a great circle, a cycle.
Cycle, yes. I haven't really come up with a name for this ale, so here's the deal. I'll tell you the exact location if you can give me a good name for it.
Hydra's Head.
No, the
Intropite.
inn just renamed itself to Hydra's Head because they put a Hydra's Head in there. Can't do that one.
I mean, he was kind of already to do that. So, yeah, Entropite. That's a good name. Good idea, Sfors.
Entropite?
It goes between hot and cold. It's entropy.
Huh. Well, I'm not sure that the drinkers will actually understand the nuance behind the name, but
Will they care?
no, they won't, especially after they've had a few.
It's a fancy name. People will want it
Entropite. Alright.
because it bites you with hot and then cold.
Precisely, yes. We'll do that.
Raska's just standing there. His eyes are kind of like wide as he's just not going there.
Entropite, I like that. Could make a name for myself with that finally. This place won't be called a backwater for too much longer, and I'll be the one to put it on the map. I'm all over the world for Entropite. Rudok.
Hold on, one step ahead of you. I proceed to take the map and draw his little bar on the map. Boom, on the map.
Well, on this map, yes. Here,
we're gonna
show me
find
that
this
map.
place.
I'll just.
That was extremely clever, Tresser. Congratulations, you've impressed me.
It's over here. Oops, I'm not
What?
on the right map.
That's a hint of sarcasm?
We're
Alright,
gonna get rid
yeah.
of the giant fish. Don't mind these crude drawings. They're
Yes, there's
Well,
a-
they're for unknown places. That's why we draw monsters.
I see.
Well, I drew the monster because we know there's monsters there.
Yes, over here and the Highlands about there.
Wow, it's awfully close to the Windsguard range.
Good. This is giving me very useful information. Like
Oh,
I said, I'm a fisherman from outside the village. I have my reasons for asking about this. I'm investigating a lead myself about something that might be causing local water life to get upset. So
Fish lippers.
anything is really, really helpful to me.
Somebody cursed our fish.
I tried to stay far away from the stink of the docks, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
But well, any of your samples, take some for the road if you wish.
Oh,
I've given you
definitely.
the
I'm
name.
gonna buy some more.
Silver apiece.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah.
How heavy is it?
It's like a little mini keg. There'd be like one bulk per.
Bulk per. Gotcha. Oh, I'm already encumbered.
also a little more.
Next chance I get, I'm raised training my stealth in athletics so I can get hefty hauler.
Well, thank you for the samples. It was very interesting.
Interesting.
You
Well,
have
I think it was good.
It was good.
that's better. When people
It's
say
a
something's
very-
interesting, it's not
It has
exactly a
You can be interesting and good.
true. Yes.
no, it's excellent.
Now we're talking. Excellent. The Entropite.
Alright, so it's 25 silver to fill up our spacious pouch entirely with this brew.
Hold on.
Just
Of course.
pour it in. Just pour it in. It's more efficient that way.
I have a question, and my question is no.
That's not the question.
I'm glad you all have a healthy thirst.
No, let's say I have another question for you. Since we've been such great patrons,
Of course.
have you seen any sort of strange women walking around or in your establishment here lately?
Strange women. No. I wouldn't call any of them that. They'd be a little bit, well, I'll keep my opinions to myself.
I'm gonna describe the 3 women that we saw in the town.
I may have saw one or two of them, but I haven't seen them since. Not in a couple of days, at least.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll just have to try east.
Worth asking.
Yep.
Yeah.
I suppose we'll buy like 2 mini kegs worth, put them in the party stash.
Okay.
Thank you, friends, for indulging me in this. I really appreciate that.
Oh, we were indulging you? I didn't realize that.
What else did you think?
I thought we were indulging Sfors.
Oh, I mean, he
I have a feeling he has
kinda
a
worked-
drinking problem.
Sfors kind of worked well as our cover.
We need to work on that. Like, you keep spilling it all over yourself. Like, it's not very.
Well, you're not really drinking it if you're not spilling it on yourself, you know?
We'll work on it another time.
Once we're away from like prying ears,
Mm-hmm.
Rast tells the group. So basically, the reason that I really wanted to come here was because we thought about everything we know about the third hag is that she's really patient, right? And what more could be good for patience than somebody trying to maybe influence the town over time? And alcohol's really good for that, right? And they're talking about parties coming up, right? So now we know about Strange Hopfield that wasn't there until recently, right? Or at least hasn't been publicly known about. So that may be a place where either the hag is or the hag is exerting some influence. And it's also upstream, quite possibly a place where the fisher folk don't really do their fishing, and we can investigate up there. That's 2 leads now that might be pointing that direction. And that's why I wanted to go to the brewery.
All the more reason to immediately head east instead of wasting our time in that brewery.
That wasn't a waste. We got more information. We got some ale. It was a good time for everyone.
I call it a success. I got what I wanted from that brewery.
I got what I wanted
too.
and more.
I'm admittedly intrigued by the Entropite affected ale. There's definitely something going on there, and I feel like we might be meeting an old friend again in some capacity.
Possibly.
Dragon.
Before we
You
go,
think he's still experimenting with it?
of course he is.
I mean, the dragon wouldn't be related to the hag.
No, but the dragon is honestly he was quite good looking, and the hag's pretty ugly, so I can't imagine them being related.
Even if all we learn is that it's the dragon involved, that's still one thing that we can cross off of our list.
Yeah.
The other hag is like playing a long con, right? Well, that means we can just not worry about her for a while.
we need to look into any leads that we find, so that even if they're not related to the hag, then we're sure that they're not. You know what I mean? Like if you're going down a tunnel looking for treasure, and and there's 3 ways to go, and you know that only one of those 3 has the treasure, and you take the first 2 and they didn't have any treasure, you didn't waste your time at all, because now you have more information that it wasn't there, and it's more likely to be the third one.
Okay, here's what I propose.
Okay.
We check south first, and then we head east.
That works.
Yes, Rask?
I would like to hear more context, please.
There's another river that goes to the south.
Okay.
If the Hydra is pushed from that direction and we go east, then the city's going to be defenseless.
Okay. What if the Hydra is pushed from the east and we go south?
I don't follow.
There's 2 possible places, not just east. There's also south.
Yes. Do we know that the Hydra came from the south?
I don't think we know what direction it came from.
You know that
leads us
there's
to the
monsters in the east that the fishes avoid.
I'm not saying don't go south. I'm just trying to understand the pros and cons of both directions,
Do you
so
really
that
think?
we know what we're looking for.
Do you really think a hag would be that far away from the town here?
I honestly don't know.
You can always go both ways.
Well, we're going to go both ways. I'm just deciding what you do first.
I mean, let's just go south a little, have a look around, and head east.
If there is-
Okay.
If there is a hag
What
down
season
there,
is it?
It's
What's a season?
You're not sure what a season is.
Sfors would know.
It's
Uh,
warm outside, blustery. Whatever that means for a season, you're not sure. Well, I mean, actually, no. Sfors would know what a season is. Never mind.
Yeah.
Sfors
Sfors drink too much.
Sfors, you think from... Oh, wait, yeah, this summertime.
Okay. I think we should go east so that we could fly south for the winter.
South it is.
Wait, you can fly?
Yeah. I just need to stretch my my flying muscles a bit after being on the ground for so long.
Okay.
You'll see me flying in about 4 levels or so.
What's the level?
Isn't like that tower had like 2 levels, like the floor and then the roof?
Those are called stories.
No, stories are something you tell.
Well, we can check the south quick. That's the shorter journey, then we can go east. It looks like we're going to be visiting Sfors' home over there as well.
Okay.
Do we have to?
Yes?
Uh,
So,
it's got some bad memories to it. Dresser didn't want to go back to Durzak for a while, right? Like that.
But he went back.
Well, I was running for my life.
Well, surely Durzak's gotta have some bad memories for you now that all that happened.
Yeah, I guess this all makes sense. If the east is more controlled by Halisax, then maybe the Hydra's herself.
There's nothing saying that Hallis access to the east.
No, there is nothing saying that. But if you're talking about the effect that the hops had in you reminded you of Halisax's funny metal, then I mean, we heard about something in the sky, right? Kind of silvery, and Halisax was white, right? But under certain lighting, flying in the sky, maybe Halisax would look a little silvery.
Well, he had scales like mine. You can just look at it here. And Sfors holds an arm up to into the sun to see if it shines
Yeah.
silvery.
it can be a little bit reflective, especially if you take care of it.
It's just a possibility. I'm okay with trying south.
Okay, well let's go today. I'm ready to go.
All
Me
right.
too.
So, you guys woke up at the lighthouse. You traveled down here, and you're in Krudok. You're about at evening in Krudok.
Yeah, we should sleep.
I love the idea of getting a good night's rest.
So,
We can go to the inn again. Maybe they'll give us a free room because we killed the Hydra.
Maybe they'll have Hydra steaks, and then I want to. We
Fish.
could eat the Hydra.
The Hydra probably ate fish, so it would taste like fish. Do I?
But it's so
would I taste
scaly,
it?
so it might taste like kobold.
Well, no,
Or
fish are scaly. They don't taste like fish.
you guys head back to the inn. You head inside, and you see already a new name has been carved in over the old one, kind of. So some of the letters have a little bit of a weird sort of extra line to them or something like that. But the inn has seemingly been renamed to the Hydra's Head. As you step inside, you find that it's a lively atmosphere. Being in the evening, people are getting their drink on and their food on. And you notice across the way at the fireplace, one of the heads of the Hydra has already been taxidermied. But it seems like they only really got one of the heads. The other four may have been taken elsewhere. Who knows? Either way, you guys step inside and you're welcomed pretty quickly by the innkeeper. Ah, there are my friends. Thank you again for what you did. I heard about the whole situation at the docks. And did you find your Stormy Hag?
yeah,
Yep.
Why do you think the storm stopped?
Well,
it didn't stop. It's just dying down.
I have to
Why-
take your word for it. But, yes. Welcome back. I'll give you your room for free tonight, of course, because you dealt with the Hydra and gave us a new name. And, well, anything else you really need? Within reason, of course.
Do you? Are you? Did you? Did you? Did you?
Did you get any
Does
of
that
the
waitress
Hydra
ever
meat?
come back?
The Hydra?
Meat.
Meat, yeah, we're cooking it up in the back right now, though it's, sort of needed to be cooked all day today.
Oh,
Really tough
Oh, Matt will
stuff.
love this.
It should be pretty, loosened up by now. Tender.
oh. Okay.
If you'd like to try some, perhaps you should be the first, just so I don't serve foul meat to others.
Oh, could we please?
Yes, of course, yeah. Oi, some of that's ready, right? Come and bring it out.
As Resk completely misses what the innkeeper said.
He brings out these plates with these massive sort of like, almost like saucer, or like thinly cut, but it's really like it's like the whole section of the neck, because the neck's the most of the
Brisket?
body. So it's like sort of a ring shaped
I do
muscle. It's sort of strange, but I'm not an expert on steaks either way. But brings it out, sets it down. I hope you like it medium well. Oh, actually, no, it's been cooking for a while, so it wouldn't be medium well. It's tender, I think. I haven't tried it myself. Go ahead. Be my guest.
So tough. It's gonna take a while.
Thank you
to
so
cut
much.
through it.
Resk digs in.
As you dig in, roll me a fortitude save.
Oh no!
Wait,
And they were never heard from again. Resk freaking dies. I'm just kidding.
The problem with
The Hydra bursts from his chest.
the problem with regenerative meat is that it's extremely chewy. Because it just keeps repairing itself, and there's so much extra material between the cells and all of that, that it's just chewy and chewy and chewy. It's like, basically the whole thing is almost like fat, chewing fat. And yeah, it's not great at all, actually.
Well, I actually kind of like that. That sounds tasty.
Probably not a whole steak of it.
So it's still regenerating.
Not still regenerating, it's just that a creature that had regenerative properties has very, very, very chewy meat.
So what
Yeah,
happens if you swallow a live Hydra?
You might
Something
need
bad.
to find a way to
That's a good
tenderize it
choice.
more. I don't really know my cooking, but
Soak it in vinegar or something. I don't.
No, don't do that.
don't do that. Maybe.
Something to
Maybe
break it
stew
down,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Grind it up, I would say.
No,
Grind
that would. No, you gotta like. What we boil it? Something. Do I know this?
Yeah,
No.
if any of you has crafting, you can
I
roll
have
that.
crafting.
Go
I'll
ahead.
roll crafting.
The closest I have to cooking is fishing, and that's good for fish. And this is very, very much not fish.
No.
It's fish adjacent.
Well, Cal, you can give him some bad advice.
I certainly do.
Well, what bad advice do you give him?
You know, I think you should glaze this. It might help with the tenderness issue.
What do you mean by
A glaze.
A
Like
sweet glaze.
sweet honey or
Like honey, yeah, that would be perfect.
That
honey roasted hydra. Even
I
rolls
don't
off the
know.
tongue.
Maybe be careful. It might roll out of your mouth too.
Hey, if you get good enough with it, you could become this town's top glazer.
Will that really help with the toughness?
It will absorb the sweetness, and that will make it more tender.
I don't think it works that way, but
Yes, it does.
I'm also not a cooking kind of person.
Oh,
You don't cook anything you eat, do you?
No, I prefer my steak particularly raw.
He doesn't. He hasn't cooked in years.
well, I'll take your word for it. You seem pretty confident in that. I'll have to acquire some honey, but
Maybe just do a small batch if you try that. I don't know about this.
yeah. What's your advice then, good sir? Can't just say someone else is wrong without giving your own advice. So let's hear it.
Oh boy, I'm not qualified for this. I'm here to keep meat alive, not prepare it.
Well,
You
I
could.
know. yes, green one.
But I suppose I would try, I don't know, mincing it so it's just small pieces and turning it into a stew, maybe. I don't know.
Stew might work. Come to think of it.
Maybe salt water.
Maybe.
Out of character, a stew would be a really good idea.
Mm-hmm. Well, either way, I can serve you something, of course, for the night, but I'll have to get back to it. You all have a good evening.
Thank
as
you
well.
so much for letting us try it, though.
Of
Even
course.
if it wasn't ready yet,
I'm glad it
it's-
was you and not anybody else.
it was kind of fun actually, and a little satisfying.
You know, you could try burying it underground for a while too. That might help.
Does that
Very
work?
good. Well, you could dry age it, but it needs to be kept a little bit cold for that.
You wet age it.
Wet age just means it's going to rot. Oh, well,
That's not
you know,
amazing.
in particular places in the swamp, you can be embalmed in the waters. You've heard about that, right? Sort
No.
of, when someone dies in the swamp, they say that some still down there in the swamp waters, in the deep gunk of it, and no predator really got to them before they got not very good to eat.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
They
Preserved
stay there forever. Pretty much, something like that. Watch out for the
Reminds
swamp
me-
mummies.
Reminds me of when we heard about those warriors from the past dying in the swamp.
Ah, I think I know what you mean. That old story. Oh, what was it again? Let's see. Yes. That would be old Elvir's army. Long ago, he's a man of myth, legend. Nobody's really sure if he was a real person, but it's a story we tell everyone here about our nation, Rinthea, about the sacrifices that were made to build it. You know the whole story, yes?
I don't know if I know the whole story, but we know a little bit.
Well, there was a great clan that sort of ruled everything, and there was a prince named Elvir. Over time, in the Great War, from east and west, it was different people back then. It wasn't Valmark, it was some others who were invading. And, Elvir ended up being the last of his line, everyone else being slain in the line of duty against these invaders. And as much as everyone would have wanted him to hide and flee, he didn't. He stood firm and would die by the side of his men, no matter what. But he was also smart and wanted to save the nation, not just die for it. These swamps, they get more dangerous the deeper you go into them. And with the enemy really wanting to cut the head off of the proverbial Hydra, shall we say, they needed Elvir to die for the nation to break, for them to succeed in their invasion. So Elvir decided he would march his army, his men, all together, deeper and deeper and deeper into the swamp. They knew that the enemy wouldn't think they were suicidal, even though, unfortunately, it was the plan all along. They knew they were going to die. They lured their enemy in deeper and deeper swamp until either there was a great battle or the swamp took them all. We're not sure to this day. Nobody's really found a battlefield or remnants of either army, really. And again, very hard to find things deep swamp. Who knows? Maybe someday someone will stumble upon the truth of the matter.
Fascinating.
To this day, however, there's still like swamp lights that kind of act like the soldiers, trying to lure them in. Almost like they're echoes of the past.
That's that's more of an old wives' tale that they tell to their children to scare them into staying home at night. But there's ghosts out in the swamp. I personally think that it's just something you tell to your children.
Oh no, I heard it from a dog.
A dog. You speak to
Rasputin
animals?
is totally straight faced. No?
Oh, well. Maybe in a dream.
Okay.
How do you know what a dog is?
Don't
Seen
mind my
dogs.
brother. He's just
Ah.
It's been a long day.
Well then, I have to get back to it. You all enjoy yourselves, and here's the key to the room. As he rushes off to tend to others.
Sfors, did I mix up words again?
They were wolves, not dogs.
Oh. Okay, I'll try to remember that. That would have probably made the story be much more understandable. I talked to a wolf, not a dog.
I don't think that's gonna make it more understandable. I'm going to bed.
Sfors,
That's a good
before
idea.
going to bed, is drinking himself silly.
I will at least get some like actual, real, normal food before sleeping.
Okay. You all eventually, though, get to bed. Getting into your beds, you find that now, no rain pattering on the roof, and just the light sound of people walking by, or someone calling out to their child, or a dog barking in the distance. All accompanied, of course, by the swamp frogs, sort of echoing all across the lake here. Fine rest comes, easy for all of you. I need...
Oh, sorry.
Yes, I need us to take a break. So, let's go. Let's come back in 5 minutes.
Fabulous.
That's good.
Alright, we'll be right back, everyone.
Seeing that
Alright, we are back. Everyone take a hero point first for your role-playing and such.
I'm having a lot of fun with role playing. It's refreshing to feel like I'm actually doing it well.
Mm-hmm. We're all doing well.
I
think
love
we have
it.
a good dynamic, and not everyone's perfectly happy with each other, which makes for good conflict and good resolution.
I'm very happy with the players, though.
Yeah.
There's a lot of unresolved conflict with the Starbreak situation that we just haven't touched upon
We're just
for
gonna keep
days.
we're just gonna keep shoving it under the rock, and we're not gonna deal with it.
I love it.
Oh boy, I won't sell out the party yet.
Oh, thank you. See, he's thinking of us.
So,
Soon.
Sternberg, when those who have power should use their power.
Correct.
Had to.
I would like, as you're all resting for the night here, Cal to come with me to the Whispers channel.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Score. It's not me.
Oh, nightmare.
Hello, Cal.
Hello.
So, as you are laying down for bed, you don't really notice it, but you end up being one of the last people to go to sleep, as you're distracted just a bit. Laying there, you can't help but think back to that ale, funnily enough, that being the cause of this recollection. In your mind, you remember that oscillation between hot, cold, that difference, that contrast. And you held on to that feeling, that contrast in your very body. Not often do you feel it within yourself so vividly. Kept on going over that feeling and sort of taking it and swirling it even in your mind, back and forth, hot and cold. And you start to realize that, like many things, it oscillates. Good and evil, light and dark. You have yourself thinking over every single contrasting piece of the world that you can think of. Many of them are just one thing and then the lack of one thing, even existence and non-existence comes to mind. As you're drifting off to sleep, you slowly but easily transition into a dreamscape. And in this dreamscape, you're staring into a black void. Nothing. Nothingness. Yet, there seems to be this feeling you get in this black void. This urge, this need, this requirement even, for there to be in existence something else in contrast to this void. For how can there even be a void without something else contrasted to allow for a void in the first place, a lack of something else? And so, glittering in the dark, 1, 2, 3, a dozen, 100 little tiny motes of light start blinking into existence, one after the other, until this void is full of them. And as you turn around, you feel the warmth on your back, in contrast, of course, to the cold of the void, and immediately come face to face, or at least within your greater viewpoint, a star, a sun, not unlike the one you've discovered as you rose to the surface. But it seems as though even when there is one thing to contrast another, then there needs to be another to contrast that one thing. And so, you look around, you turn once again to the cold side of things. See the moon, the pure, pearly, white moon of the planet that you are on. And you realize that these objects, they They almost seem to be contrasting extreme, in constant flux. Sun and the moon. You realize that from your point of view, from your standpoint, you are the planet that you are on. And it feels like almost there is this struggle between the sun and the moon, the stars, and something else, the void between them, perhaps. You also realize that maybe that constant flux, maybe that constant change, and that constant entropy, that constant oscillation as you reel it back to what you've been feeling before, is required for anything at all. You need that flux. No, it's not flux. It's harmony. They come together as one, and yet they don't realize it. They are one and the same because they exist only because the other exists. They need each other, light and dark, yet they fight each other like siblings. Something to think on as you drift off into the endless wastes of sleep. And you awaken in the morning, the sun casting its light on your face. Let's move us back up. Alright, you all awaken in the morning.
Ooh. That was a nice sleep.
Good morning. I slept like a baby. Absolutely dreamless sleep.
Electric kobolds do tend to sleep well, so that's good.
I can't complain about my sleep, though I wish I had more of the bed to myself.
Cal looks rather thoughtful as he wakes up. Who's sharing a bed with Stormbird?
Wait, how many beds were there again?
There were 3.
Oh, Stormbrick doesn't need to share a bed.
Well, he apparently has, now that he's mentioned it.
Who did he grab?
Sfors lifts his head from Stormbrick's chest.
Sure.
As you all awake. Very good.
No, I was.
Alright. As you all awaken and prepare yourselves for the day, ignoring the sleeping arrangements having shifted in the night, strangely, you open the door to the new day and head downstairs to the open inn. Before you know it, you're outside once more in the greater Crudark town. The world on the map at your fingertips. What do you do with your day today?
Let's go south.
Yeah, let's. It's the first step. Let's go. Yeah.
Okay. Easy enough to sort of get a little fishing boat and make your way out to the other side of the lake. You've been ashore. You assured the sailor that they can pick it up later or they have their friends tow it back for them. Either way, it's pretty easy. But your surveyor needs to make a survival check as you enter uncharted territory.
It's me.
Alright. This is a critical success, and thus I will give you a little bit more revealed around here. As you come here, you find that the lands do quite quickly shift towards a little bit more dry, a little bit less wetlands, and, well, into more forests, sort of heavy forests here, actually. With trees and, well, more deciduous sort of trees, more like seasonal trees rather than the swamplands like, I guess swamplands have seasonal trees, but you know the difference between swampland trees and regular trees. You don't They don't look like weeping willows or more like oak trees and stuff.
Ah,
But as you go along, you don't really notice all that different about this river. You do notice a little bit of it starts to be a little bit more rapids, but every so often there are fishermen still up in this direction. So you haven't gone far enough to get to the more what people report as dangerous parts.
the Untamed.
Oh, and I need to switch the music. Not in town anymore.
Did
What a
other
lively forest.
Yeah.
so did we have like villagers with us, or is it just the 5 of us?
Justified.
Okay, so I'm mostly largely just like boat controlling. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know where the
Totally.
villagers would come from. Yeah. So, where do you guys go from here? Checks.
You said there were fishermen
Following the
here,
river,
right?
right?
Yeah, every so often you can go past like a fisherman or two on the boats out in the river here, trying to catch some of the upstream fish before they go down to the lake and get caught by somebody else.
Well, if the creature that we dealt with was a water-based creature, we should probably just keep uh, down up the water.
Oh wait, how deep is the river?
You would have to go in and check. Not
Cal's
sure
gonna
from a
go
glance.
into the river.
You go in
Is
and
the Hydra?
it's decently deep. It's decently wide too. It's about two football fields in width. Not tiny.
Can I go down to the
Hijack.
bottom and see if there's like any massive signs that there was something really big moving through here?
Sure. Dive in and roll me a survival check.
Okay.
How it gets pulled down?
Okay, that's swim speed. I'm fine.
You can't quite tell. There's a lot of silt in your eyes, and you're not sure.
I'm gonna go back up to the surface. Brother, do you want to take this one? I can't say anything. That's kind of.
Okay, well, I guess you're on boat duty. I'll dive in because I can hold my breath longer.
Okay.
Finger quotes. And I will indeed go down to the bottom as suggested and
Yeah, roll me a survival.
investigate. Yeah. Survival time.
You yourself do find some strange sort of dredgings of the lake bed here that are quite wide in a way. A little bit less natural than you would think. So maybe something big's been through here.
Interesting. I definitely want to keep searching down here as we go. I can keep up with the boat just fine.
Like
Okay.
tracking the Hydra or like the large feature prints?
Well, there's not much of a path to track. You're just
Not
going
much of one, no.
up
But
a river.
yeah,
Just looking for oddities in the riverbed.
more or
basically.
less, yeah.
Sure. So as you go along, I'll just put you here on this for that. You find here and there, every so often, these marks, but it's slowing you down a little bit to check this for sure. It's about a little bit after noon, after midday, and for a moment there's a sudden, well, shadowing of your location, as if a cloud quickly passed over the sun.
I also want to look up.
So there's Sfors.
You look up, and for a moment, you can't really see it. in the sort of sunlight as the sun's rays sort of take over that field of vision around the sun itself, but eventually you do think you see something as if it is flying out of the sun, but you know better, of course. A great silvery scaled creature descending upon you all.
I'm gonna like hit the surface of the water really hard as this thing starts coming down to try to get Rast's attention.
I'm gonna finally surface.
You surface, and
I was probably down there a lot longer than would be comfortable for most of you up there.
it comes down quickly. And you all realize that it's a familiar sort of sight. You're on the river. This is one of my river maps. Very proud of, by the way.
Patreon back up.
You find that, of course, it is a familiar sight. This being, this one that you met down below ground, in a place where you discovered the aspects of Entropite itself, Halisax makes his entry. Sort of hovers on the water, sending ripples and waves across it, though we also notice Halisax is a bit bigger than he was before. Sort of stares at you all for a moment with those silvery white scales. In the sunlight, certainly more silvery, but pats his head.
Hi, nice to meet you again.
The pleasure's all mine, of course.
It's been a while.
It's really
I'm
only
surprised.
been a few days, maybe a week or two.
I'm
I
surprised
just-
we're running across each other again so soon.
Yeah,
Well-
that'd be like a year or so.
So soon, so soon. I told you all that, I'd be keeping tabs on what you did with those Entropite tablets, didn't I? I wasn't just going to
Well-
allow you to take them off into who knows where without, keeping track of your progress.
Fair enough.
Do you like what you see?
You, well, seem to be making heroes of yourself from what I have heard, and from what I can tell of your location over time. Yes, I can find wherever these tablets are. I wasn't going to allow you to just throw them into a lake somewhere and forget about the whole thing. I put a tracking spell upon them.
That was a good idea.
We haven't thrown them into a lake yet. We still have them. Do not fear
What do you mean yet?
at all.
But you also haven't really, made any determinations about who you would, grant some of that knowledge, have you?
It's a
Are
rather big
you-
world as we're discovering.
Oh, yes, it very much is. And it's changed a lot since I even, well, left my own home. This whole conflict between the vampiric controlled nation of Valmark and Dorinthia, quite an interesting one, though, as my history tells me, this place has always been one of war. This is not easy to conquer, I suppose. Do you think any one of them deserves this knowledge? Just asking. Pique my curiosity a little bit. To know. You think they deserve to have it or not?
I don't think we have enough information.
When do you think
Most
you will have enough
We
information?
wouldn't.
Probably once we get swept up in the war somehow. If that ever happens.
Or once we've seen both sides.
Both
just one.
sides, yes. But wouldn't...
Well, we already saw a vampire. He wasn't very nice.
Well, wouldn't this whole endeavor of this vampiric hegemony, this nation of unequals, make you, unhappy with the way things are? Wouldn't you want those vampires to be, well, destroyed? Wouldn't you want to help the underdog? Questions you should be asking yourself. I certainly am wondering your answers to each.
They're definitely questions to think about. I'm I'm definitely concerned about what could happen if vampires are left unchecked. But on the other hand, it's like they're people too, right? So it would be bad to just give a an all-consuming like judgment on all of them as a whole.
You have to consider that I doubt all the vampires want to be vampires either. Like, look at Starnberg here. Was he a willing vampire?
He seems to be enjoying it himself.
I was hardly given a choice, but I do feel a certain kinship with my vampiric half, I'm not gonna lie.
How curious it is that you all running with one different from your own kind gives you pause over the fate of nations. One individual, just knowing them, just having a friend, or well, whatever you would like to call him, amongst you. But I wasn't here to just play with words and pick your mind. I trust you with, well, I have given you my trust with it. You have not broken it yet, of course. But, as well, I find that you are headed eastwards. Is that not correct?
That seems to be the general direction that our current target is.
I suppose we are.
We're actually searching for leads. There's been a hag problem in the village to the north, Crude Arch. We killed 2 of them. The third one is still at large, and we know that she's playing some kind of a long game. And there was a Hydra attack on the village, and so we thought maybe something drove the Hydra out to attack the village, and maybe it was the hag somehow. And so we thought we'd go upriver and try to look into that.
Yes. You seem to be wandering out direction. Well, there's something I have to tell you.
Okay.
You're straying awfully close to my home.
Is that an issue?
It is, because I can't go back home, and thus I can't follow you there. You remember the story I gave you about this Entropite, didn't I?
Yes. And the other dragons, yes.
You're not thinking about handing that information back to those who would covet it and keep it away from the world,
Nope.
are you?
No, that wasn't our intention at all.
I didn't even
Yeah,
realize.
Didn't even
Questions.
cross my mind.
I didn't even realize this
We
is the
also-
direction for your home.
We also don't really know where you came from, so it's just a coincidence, I suppose.
So you're saying that if we're not careful, they could potentially mug us for this?
They could if they knew you had it.
Ooh, yeah.
And I guess they
And-
just won't find out.
Well, I have dealt with the one issue that would have known that you had it. Your dwarf friend, he would no longer will be a problem.
Interesting.
Did you?
That sounds ominous.
What did you do to him?
Well, they heard that you slew me, so they came looking for my body and any other information. And by that point, I wasn't exactly moved out of the entropic manor just yet. And what's a few dwarves to a dragon?
Understandable.
Well, that ties that loose end nicely up, doesn't it? Though I think we'll have a very angry dwarf clan at our backs now.
Oh
I
no,
have no idea that we were connected to that whatsoever.
I appreciate you sent them my way. Saying, oh, if you didn't
You're
have the tablet, you had no idea
welcome.
about the information, and you didn't kill me. It all, like Starnberg said, pretty nicely how things ended up.
It was kind of an accident, though.
They were going to kill us if we didn't do something. Or attempt to, I should
Yeah,
say.
sucks for them, but it's not like it's our fault.
No, they didn't have to do anything. They could have just gone home instead.
They could have. But if they did, they would have reported that the tablets were still missing. And that, well, it could have muddied the waters for you, entering that domain. As you remember that my brood of dragons did work with that clan, the Silversmiths.
You're so morally repugnant.
Well, think what you will. Your allies seem to understand the predicament that I was in. And just allow them to go home with the information that I was there. My kin could have come calling, and I wouldn't have wanted that. And thus to say, I can stray no further to the east towards Windscarred Range, and as much as I would like to tell you where my home is, I think it's safer for me if I don't tell you where our brood makes their nest, so to say.
You know, that does make sense.
It would be
So you won't get
suspicious.
mad at us if we accidentally go somewhere you can't monitor us, right?
I'll know where you are, so I will know if you're, well, where my brood makes their home.
Do you have a way to warn us if we get too close? Because we don't want to actually, this is complicated. We don't actually want to intrude.
No, actually, I have a solution. Why don't you hand the tablets back? Until, of course, you leave the Windscarred Range, and you're not close to my brood. Then neither of us are in danger. You won't be assaulted by them because you will have nothing of value to them. And I have the peace of mind that you won't hand over the tablets as soon as you get home, or to my home.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
Not
but
the
that
worst
means
of
we're really set on going to the ranges, huh?
We're
And
just
you
looking.
did give it to us initially. You wouldn't have. It would be silly for you to take them and not give them back if you gave them to us initially. That,
Of course.
Sense to me.
given
I'll
how
find
well we
you
know
again.
each other, not well enough. That
News.
seems reasonable.
And news of strange creatures from the world below travels, and I could find you again easily enough. Consider it perhaps a continuation of trust, the furtherance of it, in fact. If you were to hand them over to me now.
I'm going to try to do a sense motive here.
Okay.
Because why not?
Yeah, I feel like Rask has bought into this idea already, so...
Hal, you can't quite sense the true motive behind this ever elusive and ever carefully dancing around their words dragon.
Well, we might not have to continue to approach these mountains. We're looking for a hag, potentially in these parts.
Something tells me that your path lies close to these hills, whether it is a hag or not that lives in them. As his eyes lay on Sfors for a moment.
I have one more question. There's a vineyard to the northeast, that has something to do with Entropite.
This is
Maybe
news to me.
Maybe the soil has been infused with it or something.
You don't know about it. About the hops.
I appreciate the information as you grant it. I had no idea that there was someone, well, making use of Entropite, perhaps in a strange way, if you say that they're brewing alcohol out of it.
Come here. And
It doesn't seem to be intentional.
It could be a naturally occurring deposit.
Cal's gonna pull out one of the kegs of beer.
I think it would be worth investigating before doing anything rash.
Yeah,
I'm very curious what's going on.
It is far too close to home for me to ever set up something like that, and I think it's quite silly to infuse alcohol with entropite. Someone else has seemingly discovered properties and doesn't really realize its true potential. They waste it, truly.
Do you
Would you
want
like to try it anyways?
I was
It's
gonna
really
say,
good.
Cal's holding out a keg. You want to try some?
I'll try some on my own time.
If it even is based on entropite.
I think it
Given the
is.
qualities, I mean, there's a 99% chance.
It
I
could just
trust
be a
your
really good
judgment.
brew.
What was it I heard in town? Something about entropite? I thought it was just a joke someone was making. But now I know the truth behind it.
It's just a
Oh.
name. There's no harm in that.
It certainly seems to be worth investigating. I do wonder uh, if you would be so kind as to share your findings with us later.
My findings about the entropite?
Indeed.
I'll take a look into it. But if you say it is as you say it is, you have a competitor with the knowledge. It might be spreading on its own, ever so
I
slightly.
see.
Though in an unrefined fashion, of course. I refined the process. Oh well, the dwarves did, and I just took it. But that tablet
just
still
think about
holds
how
the
good-
old. That tablet still holds the only refined processing of entropite, so you could use it in many other ways rather than just adding a flavor to an alcohol just because it's in the soil.
Oh, but think about how good the brew would get if we did share this with the winemakers at the Entropide Plantation.
You think that's the first person you will ever give this groundbreaking knowledge to is for alcohol?
I mean, it did taste pretty good.
If it was up to me, well, I wouldn't say.
I'm glad
No.
it's not up to you.
I think maybe we can find a way to use it in such a way that would enhance people's quality of life, not just make things taste better.
You would need to find, as I remind you, people or a people or perhaps a person, a singular person, would be more controlled and more reliable, in fact, who could truly be trusted with the knowledge and would, well, use it and show it to the world in the right way. Maybe you haven't found the right person. But I still leave it to you. At the end of the day, I would like it to be on your shoulders, not mine.
Yeah, okay. We're gonna still do that. I don't think we've run into anybody yet that would actually be able to do that.
You'll find one soon enough. There are powerful people in this world. Individuals who just need the right ingredients. We'll see. Have you any other questions before I make my leave?
I think
Other-
you answered mine.
Are there other aspects or magics like entropite? Or is it something of itself?
There very well might be. My kin, the Entropite Dragon, may not be the only ones who arrived in this world and brought their material with them. We may be unique, though, and be the only ones that brought the material with us. That constitutes our home world.
So there's only gonna be one valley of the rock.
One valley. What is it you said?
One valley of the rocks of that from which we descended.
As
Oh
far
well, my tribe descended at least.
as we know, yes. Your kind once served us, but we found that, you were particularly not as resilient. You took on some of the aspects of this world, some of the more fleshy things, some of the more needs for survival, and you're not much like us anymore. I don't quite know your history myself, however, so I shouldn't be saying anything. I'm quite young for my brood. Many others have been here for much longer.
But
Don't
there is a
go.
link.
There is a link between yours and ours, yes. Indirect or direct. Maybe, maybe not. I was just told that you once served us, did no longer, because of course we knew of your tribe, and we knew, of course, of the similarities in white scales. You might get a better answer from my kin. You stumble upon them. But you have free reign to stumble upon them if you give me those tablets, as he extends a claw.
I'm okay with that, especially if
It's reasonable.
the entire purpose for us having them is, well, to find someone to use them. So it's not like, yeah,
Definitely safer while we're in the mountains at least.
it makes sense to me. I'm okay with it.
I hear 3 out of 5.
You aren't just intending to give these to somebody else, are you?
Of course
For
not.
them to pick.
That would
You
have
were
been
chosen for a reason, a very unique reason.
I think he
know
could just
of
kill
no
us if he
others.
really wants the tablet.
I wouldn't do that.
He's been sticking to rules before, so I trust that he will return the tablets to us when the time comes.
Even if he just fly off with the tablet, then that just means that it's one less thing for us to worry about. So I'm still interested in
else's problem.
trying to. I'm still interested in trying to resolve this. So it seems
Unfortunately,
that he's interested in us doing it, so it works out.
this is your burden to bear. Just not for the
Yeah.
moment. I'll keep it safe.
Why don't we just learn from this?
You mean?
Anyways, we will give you the tablets while we're in the mountains.
Very well. He takes them from your hands, sort of stuffs them into a wing pouch.
Does the enterpite?
Yes.
Would the enterpite make me stronger?
It wouldn't make you stronger. Not innately.
You could make a weapon out of it, but you don't really use those, do you?
No, I pull water out of a plane.
The entropite is not quite connected to that plane.
I am probably the one that's closest to being able to use entropite, I would imagine.
And you are probably also the one who would refuse that sort of entropite infusion the most out of all of us.
Well,
says it has
he's
to
had a
be-
vampire psychic infusion. Why not?
Who
Another.
says it has to be an infusion of some sort? I think once we get these tablets back, I'm gonna try to figure out what it is and how it works more.
Do that.
If that's acceptable to you, anyways.
No, of course. Why I am taking the tablets from you. I figured you might want to seek out, well, the origin of something that seems to be so akin to your abilities.
It does seem like that, doesn't it?
Not only one of your fates lies within these mountains. I had sensed that, certainly. Though I came to warn you and take these tablets into safekeeping. Just so you could go on your journey of self-discovery without me worrying that you would throw it all away. Who knows? We'll see what happens. I'm just
It's-
happy with this arrangement we've made for ourselves. A duplicitous trust between us. A good deal.
It's really nice to see you again. It's kind of nice to hear that you've been watching out for us.
I haven't been watching out for you, but very well have been slain in any one of those other circumstances. I already gave you your one escape death for free card against those trolls, remember?
Oh, I didn't mean it like that. I just mean, I don't know. I just the way you're keeping track of us. I just thought, it's like we're connected.
We are certainly connected, one way or another. Just see how it all.
Don't worry, if we find your kin, we won't say anything about you or the tablet.
I will trust you on that. But I will have ways of knowing. Probably. My kin start coming after me. We'll see, won't we? Now, be on your way. I have a lair to hide these tablets in. I'll find you after you leave the range.
Okay. Stay well. It was nice to see you.
As he
That's good.
expands his
Bye-bye.
wings, stretches them wide, and flies on off. Right back into the sun. Barely see him leave. Before he, well, flies behind some clouds.
Does his eyes hurt when he does that?
You know, flying is really quite convenient, isn't it? Imagine if we could all fly. We would get to the bottom of this real fast.
Oh, we should learn how.
It's so nice to have a friend like that. Someone who cares about us up here.
He probably cares more about his tablets than us.
Well, Milk cares about you, doesn't he?
No one cares about our money.
You recall Milk saying he was going south to the other town. That's the capital over in
I do recall that, yes.
We'll visit him again later.
But we're at a good stopping point, exactly at 9:30. My time. So, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. That is all we have for today. Spark in the Dark. And of course, any map you see on my stream, like the fish mark was seen last time. Oops. Or of course, tower that you all fought at today. They're all part of my Patreon. Patreon.com/KoboldDM. It's right above me right now. There it is. So, that'll be it. Rask, you stream as well.
I sure do. Hi there. I am Chris Kobold, player of Rask, and I stream on Twitch on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, usually around 6 to 9 p.m., 6 to 10 Central, at Captain Kobold. And yeah, a lot of indie, some puzzle, some adventure stuff. Might be diving into some Subnautica for the first time. That'd be cool.
Oh, that's fun.
Yes.
Water, yay!
Very water themed recently. But yes. Hope you all enjoyed. We'll see you next weekend. Same time. For 17. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.